another rocket attack. I've got my boots and got my ammo in my 50-pound sack. Boys headed to war in this world unknown. The only peace of mind I've got are these letters from home. Another day attack. I've tried to talk and tell you about it, but it ain't the same. All these thoughts that run through my head, well, they can't be tamed. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. We ain't far from Kandahar.
People look at us as robots or just out doing a job, but everything we see and do affects us just like it does everybody else.
A lot of problems with first responders and veterans is that now we're in a battlefield that's very different.
I've lost more friends to suicide than I did in combat, and it really hurts.
When you push the human envelope to those maximum extents, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually, and then you pull that plug, nothing prepares you for the silence. Nothing prepares you for that void.
You can't come that close to death without it having some effect on you.
I'll never forget my wife telling me, you know, you're not the same Brett that I married.
What War Horses does is it puts you in that environment to, in essence, look in the mirror. But that mirror's that horse. And that horse is going to tell you where you're at.
You got to relax. You got to calm down. You got to slow your mind down and just think about this one thing, controlling that horse.
The first thing we do before we get on a horse, we breathe. Let go of everything. Let go of everything in your head. If I don't let go of everything, I cannot be present with the horse.
It's magic. I just started crying. It was the first time in my life that I literally let everything go.
Compassion, generosity, love, all of these things trickle back into what it is to be a human being.
It's completely changed me.
All the confidence I had lost, it started coming back working with these horses. They've given me my life back.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy, had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar, a straight-up omelet bar. And now look, my former intern's tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what the moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
Yeah, you said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to another edition. Who said this shit was fake? This ain't fake. This is real shit. This is live. Broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence. This 31 January. This ain't live. Happy birthday, CQ, by the way. Man, how y'all doing tonight? So I'm riding solo tonight. Solo. But I have the lines open. I got the phone calls up. I'm more than happy to take them calls. And, hey, how you guys? Ooh, man, everyone's like, oh, it's payday tomorrow? That's what I'm talking about. It is payday tomorrow, isn't it? That's what I'm talking about. Got to cash that. Got to get them. Got to get that cheddar. Anyways, so how are you guys doing? I hope you guys had an interesting weekend. I know there's some little butt hurtness going on right now. I was just kind of like talking about how, yeah, exactly that, Joe. Hey, Joe, give us a call, man. Hey, Joe, give us a buzz, man. If you want to shoot the breeze, and talk about the games, the sporting events that we had, quite the upsets that we had. I mean, damn, there were some upsets. There were some butthurt people. I guess all that Bengals stuff that I got to wear. Thank you for you're welcome for my service, because I wore all that Bengals stuff, and yeah, I kind of got I kind of had I had some family and friends going back and forth with me, and fans in Kansas getting pissed off at me because I had a Bengals accoutrements from losing the bet, and those games were good. Cannot wait to see what the Super Bowl is going to be like with the Cincinnati Bengals and Yeah, you call too, Joel. Hey, if you're listening to us, and then and the Los Angeles the Rams, dude, just having the Rams, I'm surprised. I was again. I'm not saying that I liked watching individuals. Okay, I'll admit it. There is a little bit of yeah. You feel kind of yeah. You want to like rub it in. You wanted them to lose. Yeah, exactly. You wanted to lose. And you saw them lose, and it's kind of like, ha, ha, ha. Everyone said that I cursed the Chiefs by wearing Bengals stuff all over the last Monday edition when I lost the bet. But hey, congratulations. Super Bowl is going to be what? I think the 13th or something like that. And man, I cannot wait. Let me see. We got already got callers coming in. Hang on. Hello, WTF Nation Radio. You're on the air.
Hi, it's Joe. How's it going, pal?
My man, how are you doing?
Well, I'm about to enter my mobile bunker of excellence right over here, also known as my minivan, so I can get on my charger and be able to talk.
Exactly. Hey, man. Hey, so real quick. Give us this thing on the games, bro. I was just a very impressive nail biting.
This entire NFL postseason has been one phenomenal game after another. Yesterday in that AFC Championship game, Patrick Mahomes was shut down in the second half. And I don't know what happened to their offense after that, but Joe Burrow is the real deal. And he brought it out in the end and leading the Bengals to their first Super Bowl since Boomer Esiason was the quarterback. Okay,
bro, we're talking
they were doing the Icky Shuffle the last time.
I was about to say that
were in the Super Bowl.
1988, 89 or something like that.
Yeah, that was the year that they lost on the Roger Craig touchdown with Joe Montana in the Super Bowl. In fact, there's a funny story behind that drive that Montana had. Jerry Rice said he knew that they were going to win that game because Joe Montana got to the huddle, looked down the field, and said, "Hey, everybody, take a look. It's John Candy." And with him being that cool underneath there, Jerry Rice was like, "Yeah, we're going to win the Super Bowl." And they ended up doing it the last time the Bengals were in the Super Bowl.
Dude, I can't. So what do you? Okay, so now so let's go on to the Rams, man. Let's.
Oh my goodness! You know what, Matthew Stafford. You get stuck in Detroit. I'm not sure how old you are. I mean, I'm just kind of going back into the 90s. If there was any sports fans back in the 90s, there was a Nike commercial, and one of the guys, a rapper, was on there, and they said, "What happens if you don't execute?" And he said, "You'll get stuck in Detroit." Matthew Stafford was stuck in Detroit for 12 years and finally got a team able to actually match his skills on the football field and be able to have him execute perfectly. Cooper Kupp is the real deal, and him tearing apart yesterday, getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and those 49ers. And you know what? I hate to say this, Los Angeles fans, there is no Los Angeles fans there. They're 2/3 of SoFi Stadium, where the Super Bowl is going to be in 2 weeks. The Rams' home stadium was full of 49ers fans.
Right,
but,
right.
Jimmy G does not get to another Super Bowl, and now we have got the Rams at their home stadium going up against Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Well, see here. Now, do you think? Now, we even kind of called it too that the defense was going to have to on the Bengals side of the house against the Chiefs. They were going to have to add. I mean, they're going to have to add up. They actually were actually have to push because, again, I'm not dissing Patrick Mahomes at all, dude. That kid is freaking phenomenal under pressure specifically.
Yeah.
So do you think what do you think the odds on the Rams and the Bengals with that defense?
You know, the defense yesterday with getting rid of Mahomes. The one thing I kind of noticed from the previous game against the Bills. Mahomes had a little outlet right there to Tyreek Hill, almost about 5 yards up. Every single one of the plays that for the week, 2 weeks ago over at Buffalo, or excuse me, a week ago at Buffalo. This past week, since he made a nice adjustment and kept the pressure on there, kept the pressure on Tyreek Hill, And I really do think that in the second half, after they made their adjustments, they kept it down. But a big thing was in that entire thing that shifted everything Cincy's way was right before the second half. The defense came up huge, and maybe been a questionable call from Mahomes to try to go for the touchdown instead of the field goal at the end of the game. But the defense came up huge on that goal line stand, and Kansas City never saw them again. Now you're running into the Rams defense, and we'll get to that here in a second. But the Bengals defense stepped up, and the Bengals defense stopped Mahomes. They're going to have to match up a little bit better. He's not as mobile as Mahomes, and Bradford is a good pocket quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to step up. But the Rams defense, man, anytime you've got Sam Donald on that line, and with how porous the Bengals O-line was, a couple weeks ago,
right,
letting up 9 sacks in the game. Man, you've got the number one pass rusher in the NFL on one line, and you've got a very porous and very, it needs to be united O-line for Cincy. I'm going to feel bad from Joe Burrow if they ain't going to get their stuff together.
That was
going to be a long night.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Now, do you think that both games that resulted in the finalists for the Super Bowl, do you think that whole overtime rule? Should it be changed now? I mean, because everyone's like, oh, no, the overtime rule doesn't need to be changed. It's good to go. And then all of a sudden now with who you see going to the Super Bowl, do you think the overtime rules need to be changed?
No, I do think the overtime rule does need to be changed. I do, but the thing comes down to timing, and I hate to say this, the NFL won't have a game continue on, and they would not like to have a tie. In fact, they were, really the NFL doesn't like ties. They like to have a winner and they like to have a loser. But the time restraints that they have on showing these games only goes 3 hours and 30 minutes. You get an overtime game where if the first team scores a touchdown and you're now waiting for the second team to score a touchdown, you're going to go past that entire time period where they're going to be able to be put on the television, and you're going to have a blacked out game going on continuously. So I could see the merit in keeping it, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I just
see where I'm getting at.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of like I was saying before. It's instead of have an extra quarter play, and then the winner of that quarter goes. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just and then if there's another one that needs to go to OT, then of course the second overtime would be considered sudden death or something like that. But
but like I said, with the way the NFL is, like I said, you're going to have those games going on over 3.5 hours, and if the NFL cannot broadcast that part of the game, they're not going to allow that to happen.
I can see that.
That's just kind of the business sense with how they separate the games. About 3 weeks ago, the regular season finale, the Jets were playing the 4:30 game over in Buffalo, but Pittsburgh was going into overtime and they had the ball. But because it was 4:30 and I was in the New York area at the time, they had to stop the broadcast of the Pittsburgh game, which they ended up winning about 3 minutes later, and had to cut to the start of the Jets game. So if you think about it, those longer overtimes, while I do think it will work, it'll cut into the NFL schedule. And, like I said, they're not making money on it. They're not going to want to do it.
Speaking of making money, I guess there's going to be some awesome. There going to be some more, some better Super Bowl commercials like they talked about last year, and the freaking halftime event, dude, it's going to be epic.
My goodness, for all the Gen Y or what's these new people called, whatever they are, now the last of.
It's like the last of. It's like Dr. Dre and freaking Eminem.
Generation Omicron or whatever the hell variant we've got right
now. Generation Omicron.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Wait, I think we're like what? Since we're old. like Gen Z or Gen X or something like. No, wait, I think
we're Gen X.
We're Gen X,
I think we're Gen X. Like in 1984, I think is kind of the cutoff for anybody who was born
1980.
after that's considered a millennial.
Yeah, hang on. I got the sun shining in my face right now. So Gen Z is 97 through 2012. Millennials are 81 through 96. Gen X is 65 through 80. And then boomers.
Good. So I just make it at the end.
And then boomers are 1955 to 1964. So those are the boomers. That's the first boomer too. And then baby boomers, I guess it's broken down to like post-war boomers too. Boomers 1 and boomers 2. So the boomers have their So Gen X. So the Gen X individuals are freaking going to be loving this because the halftime show is going to have old school rap, old school, which is kind of
Eminem, Dre, Snoop,
Right.
Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Am I right?
Yeah.
Mary J. is going to be out there.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige is going to be out there. This was the music that you listened to when if you were white, you wanted to try to act hardcore and listen to it. But at the same time, too, there was no better, music to love making than some Mary J. Blige,
Bro,
I'm just going to say that.
I'm just going to say that too. Whoa. I mean, I'm telling you what, because if you want to hang out and party, you're Dre and Snoop Dogg and Eminem if you're angry a little bit, and then, you're hanging out at the club and, you know what I'm saying? And you bring, and then you have Mary J. Blige, man, and Kendrick Lamar. Come on, man. This is going to be, and that's what sucks is that it's going to be like, they can't really like rap what they want. They can't really, their lyrics can't be.
No, I mean,
you know what I mean? They can have the lyrics.
Unfortunately, Snoop's not going to go 1, 2, 3 into the phone. Snoop Doggy Dogg, Dr. Dre is at the no. Let me make an entrance back up. Because I'm about to rip shit up. Personal, like a bubble. Compton in Long Beach. You ain't nothing in trouble. Ain't nothing but G thing, baby. Too low down. G's going crazy. Death Row is the label that pays me. Untraceable, so please will try to face it. But sorry.
Anyways, no. Oh man, dude, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I like that. That's kind of that's kind of it's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be nostalgic.
It's gonna be a good halftime. And you know what? It's gonna be good because we've gone the entire season, with a full audience. And remember last year, they only had 25,000 or something like that was down there in Tampa for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So the crowd is going to be back at the Super Bowl at SoFi. And, another thing you all might take a little bit of interest to, especially any of you rock, guitar lovers. So a huge fan of the LA Rams is Nita Strauss.
Oh,
and I don't know if y'all know this, but before every game, Nita does, she's done the national anthem for SoFi Stadium on her guitar. She's going to be over at the Super Bowl performing for the LA Rams. I'm telling you, if you have not heard her play the guitar, you are missing out on one of the best guitarists of this generation.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait. WTF football.
Oh, yeah.
What about WTF football? We're talking about some. This is current events, man. This is news. And we're talking about some big games. No, I'm just reading some of the comments in there. Everyone's like, got to bust out my gold chains and jumpsuit. Exactly. I'm wearing my Adidas tracksuit. I'm going straight Gopnik, man. I'm gonna look like a Slavic freaking gangster and shit with my big ass chains.
With your Kangol hat.
Yeah, my Kangol, exactly. I'm busting them shits out. Why is there a football game interrupted my? Yeah, exactly. Samantha Fish is a hidden gem. Yeah, you know what? Somebody said there's going to be some surprise nostalgic performers coming out. What member in the audience right now just talked about about Tupac, and I remember the last time there was just some fest or something like that. Tupac showed up, but he showed up as a hologram. So
wasn't there like Bonnaroo or something like that?
So I can't wait. I'm just again, I'm gonna be nostalgic for this. Now you're talking about all these 3-hour games and shit, bro. I would have I had an adequate amount of wings when I was watching these games. So I mean, I think there'd been nothing wrong with having some of these, having some of these games go a little bit longer. But then again, like I said, you never know. But maybe they should just do that as an experiment overseas and have it taped or delayed. You know what I mean? Have a, you know what I mean? Because I know they do play NFL Europe.
No, you would lose as much money as the NFL and Las Vegas and all these casinos and betting apps are making just off the Super Bowl. This is their payday. You tape delay the Super Bowl. Oh my God, it'll collapse Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It'll be a ghost town by the end of the night.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. All right, man. Hey, thanks for shooting the breeze. I see people they're fanning up on the phone calls here. I guess they want us to stop talking sports. All right, brother. Hey, thanks for calling, Joe. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take it easy,
All right,
pal.
take it easy. Yep, later. Man, there's some. I can't wait for this. Man, it makes me want to, makes me want to play. Hang on, now I'm gonna go through my freaking my music here, and just let me see here. Anyways, where were we at? Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's gonna be fun. I'm probably gonna get zucked and everything because we've been playing music and off the wall here. None of our standard stuff. Is it Ice Cube yet? No. I mean, if it's Ice Cube, exactly. There goes the feet. Do I have that? Yeah, I do. Actually, I do have that song. I remember the last time we played that. We got freaking, and there goes the feet. Exactly. Hang on. Do I have that? Do I have the song here? I think I do. Anyways. But at any rate, looking forward to that. It's going to be some nostalgia. It's going to be like me, my Cholo Surfer days back in the day, Cholo Surfer Ranch and Cowboy days. Orale, you know what I mean? Walking around with that stuff. Let's see, we got another phone call here. Hang on. WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air.
What's happening, brother?
What you doing, man?
Nothing. Just getting home from work. I just wanted to call in because I'm in Facebook jail and I can't comment, and I wanted to say happy birthday to CQ. We got to roast him tomorrow night. Hopefully, maybe I'll be out of jail by then. But I just wanted to give a happy birthday to the CQ and tell Mom, go Browns.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right. Take care. I'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Hey.
Straight to jail, exactly. Is the fee still up? Let me see. Let me check up. No, it looks like everything's up. It looks like it's up still. Hang on. I don't want to get in trouble.
Have on showing.
Yeah, it looks like a feed is still up. Everything's going. I'll put some likes in his commissary. Exactly. Put some loot in there. Anyways, so I'm going to talk about first half hour of football. Let's talk about what's going on with Joe Rogan. Man. Yes, the WTF Nation, U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio has applied to appear on the Joe Rogan podcast, so it's going to freak everybody out. It would be fun as hell to be on that show with Joe Rogan, but we have made, blah blah blah. We want to come on, can we hang out? Joe Rogan's been getting a lot of stuff from what happened. Because with Neil Young, and do you guys even know who Neil Young is? What about them Fighting Irish? Some drama going on right now. Everyone's trying to deplatform Joe Rogan because he's on Spotify, not realizing he was on several other platforms before he came on Spotify. I'm going to tell you right now, I kind of look at some of the questions, and I do listen to the Joe Rogan podcast and listening to what he said and all that. And there's a lot of individuals that just can't stand the fact that he talks about things. Talks about a lot of, there's individuals in the news, in the mainstream media, stating the fact that, he was hanging out with Snoop Dogg, that his talk is dangerous. It's like any discussions and all that. Individuals saying that anything he says is dangerous and can't be said because the people that he has on are on the fringe. And a lot of what individuals don't know is that he's like liberal. Not really progressive liberal or something like that, but he's not an ultra conservative. He's not really conservative. So everyone immediately thinks alt-right. Everyone thinks, oh, you can't talk about the Rona and you can't talk about this. Of course, saying about what he did when he caught the Rona. and what he did and all that. Is it dangerous to even talk about? Exactly. Who's Neil Young? Is it dangerous to talk about what he said? Everyone said that he provides COVID, Rona, plague misinformation. And I said exactly that, Pooks. The legacy media is just butthurt that he's getting better ratings. Like 11 million for one episode or something like that. We barely get that in 7 days, man, for our reach and shit. It's like a lot. Yeah, exactly that, Pookie. He's about borderline libertarian. I could say that, yeah. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe. Neil Young has asked that either pull your I'm gonna pull my music albums unless you do something about Joe Rogan. Which of course the censorship debate goes back and forth because it's a private platform and the private platform can do whatever they want, blah blah blah. So Spotify said, okay, well, sucks to be you, and okay, I guess your music's off, and that's it. So now everyone's getting pissed off. Everyone got pissed off at the fact that Spotify said, hey, good on you. Hey, well, hasta la vista. Bye. And we'll talk to you later. And so Neil Young stuff has been pulled off. Which is pretty funny because if you go to other platforms, like, I don't know, there's the former President Trump, D-Treasy, was deplatformed, and everyone said, yep, he's dangerous. It's not deplatforming. A country, a private company can do whatever they want. Well, Spotify can do whatever they want. If they don't want to have Neil Young on there, and Neil Young says, take my music off or whatever, and of course, then okay, thank you, drive through. Take the music off, I guess. Keep Joe Rogan on. Do I think Joe Rogan has a misinformation or disinformation or dangerous rhetoric and dangerous? I don't. I don't think some of the questions some of the guests that Joe Rogan has on his podcast, as well as some of the questions that he has, some of the dialogue that he has back and forth, are not what I consider dangerous. He's asking questions. As a matter of fact, he has even been corrected a couple times. He has admitted that he's been incorrect on some things. So now everyone's saying that that Spotify needs to be removed. The memes are on fire about this. Did you hear about, the Wild Stallions removing themselves from Spotify if they don't remove Joe Rogan? A joke, of course. If you don't know who the Wild Stallions are, then you're not a movie aficionado like you think you are. I couldn't even think that name. You know what? You're right. Pip, I couldn't really name a Neil Young song myself. I mean, maybe if you played it and you said, that song that you always hear, that's Neil Young. Oh, okay, cool. That's Neil Young. Okay, got it. All right, that'll work. That's cool. All right, well, all right, thank you. Music to me has always been a form of expression where everyone can sing what they want and say what they want and whatever, and it's up to me to decide if I want to keep listening to that or, go online and illegally download their music that I like. I mean, I didn't say that, but it is just the way it is. But I just think I really find it funny that individuals who like to talk about free speech, and it's okay for their platforms to do it, then all of a sudden they don't like somebody else to talk about anything. And I'll be honest with you, if you think Joe Rogan is dangerous to society or something like that, you're pretty, man. That's almost like that meme where you see that actor, and he's got a noose around his neck, and he says first time, and then you look at the other guy. On the military side of the house, I guess you could say we could feel the same way. We get told so many times that we're misinformed and we're so misogynist. Even though I can pull up the stats and see how many women listeners we have, and I can see how many. We've even filtered some of the stuff that we've had, so that way we don't have the QAnon idiots throwing their hashtags in there or any hateful speech that you can put in the comments. Somebody even said, I only challenged some individuals to do a hate test on one of our platforms, and I said, hey, look, I know you're just doing a test. Go ahead and do it, and that algorithm worked. Be excellent, exactly, Baconator. Be excellent. All this radio thought that people are trying to say you can't do. Dangerous because podcasts aren't really regulated as much as FCC-controlled media and radio. And not to mention the fact that a lot of the media individuals are They do think we're in the yeah. Oh, we are. Some of us are. But the media has a different. They have to do their stuff in quick snippets, real quick sound bites, real quick interviews, and they real quick stuff to grab some things out of context. The reason why Joe Rogan has been so successful is because he has long form interview. WTF Nation Radio was modeled after that. A long-form interview type of podcasting where we bring guests on. We're not doing any gotcha games, which we really not have. And our military guests or veteran guests or celebrity guests have come on, and we don't do the gotcha games. We just want to be curious, just like the audience asks us to be. Some of the questions that we have immediately we'll get, hey, like CQ said, hey, drop your questions in the comments or let me know what's going on. We do the same thing. No, he does the same thing. Oh, you're right, Pooks. Alex Jones being deplatformed was just a test run. Is there a niche for conspiracy theories? It's almost like this. It's almost how you have Ancient Aliens on there, and some people think that's conspiracy theory. Or you have Netflix, and it's got conspiracy theories. It's got the History Channel on cable. Everyone calls it the Hitler Channel because everything's about freaking Hitler on that thing. It's like World War II, World War II, World War II. Hitler did this, Hitler did that. Which, of course, hey, you got to preach the history. But does that mean that Netflix needs to be deplatformed for posting some movies about stuff like that? I know there was a lot of drama going on about. There was a movie that Netflix put out called Cuties, and everyone freaked out about that. Kind of stayed, right? It stayed up. It played. So I go back and forth to the individuals that think that Joe Rogan's just a piece of shit when it comes to his podcast and all that. Have you sat down and listened to a full podcast? That's like 5 podcasts later when I'm traveling or when I'm driving across the country to go whatever. How many biscuits are the perfect amount with biscuits and gravy? 2. Medium fluff, so that way you can break them open and make sure you have enough sausage diced in within the gravy as well, with a fairly amount of pepper. Is he providing misinformation? He is literally would be the discussions that you would have at work that you would see on the news. I kind of see it the same way. Have you not have had any discussions in where you're working at? Or in the break room, and you saw something on the news, and you're like, "Oh man, look at that shit. That's messing up." And then you have another person say, "Well, I think the cops are corrupt, or I think this, or I think the government's doing that." That sort of discourse that you have within, you will literally just think, "Yeah, okay." Just having conversations, even with your specific significant other, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend. You have the same discussions too. You have this, you have the talk about, so you can disagree with that, whatever, but no one's, shut up, whatever. Same thing with having these long form podcasts. I always like listening to individuals that get really mad. I mean, you just look on, name your social media platform. Go to Reddit, go to fucking Twitter, go to Instagram, and you see everyone just like freaking out about what he said. And again, you have to be objective to this. That should be redacted. What, Montesanto? What's going on? Thanks, Montesanto. That should be redacted. I don't see what the big deal is. And like you said, Pookie, I think the individuals, a lot of the mainstream media are getting a little upset that he has a bigger platform. I'm not saying that, we're of the same platform. I know he has, in the double digits of millions of followers and of reach. We have the same. And I always felt that, when Kaz comes on and says everything stayed on WTF Nation Radio is, blah, 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 and not the opinion of blah, 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 that's the discourse. You can sit there and say that, of course, everyone's like you, WTF Nation does misogyny, WTF Nation, does homophobia and Islamophobia and, Mexican phobia, Latino phobia, whatever you want to call it. And let's see, you can't have podcasts? We can't have podcasts? Some of the individuals that I'm looking at right now, especially on specific platforms, don't hate. I think we've had, I don't know. Let's see, how many members of the military leadership have we had on here? We've had a lot. Members of the veteran community. We had a lot of celebrities on here. And I don't think just by us asking questions or having them on, especially the political candidates, man, this spring. Whew, yeah, exactly that, Pip. WTF Nation hates vets. that was a couple of years ago. That was exactly that. Never have taco phobia. But this spring, we're going to have some politicians coming on, individuals running for Congress that are going to be pretty polarizing. They're going to be pretty... Everything you can and cannot say will all of a sudden be considered either IST at the end. Add your IST on something and a specific candidate we have on there. I remember we were being called liberals and all that because we had somebody who was running against Trump. Man, come on, shoot the shit. I thought, man, we still going to have a beer together. I can't wait. That's a little discussion like that. We've had individuals who have, who are conservative. Who cares? Come on, spread the word. Let's talk. That's not dangerous. Having an interview with somebody. I'll let you decide. Let you, the listener, decide if. Don't be scared. The listener's going to be, well, there you go. If you don't like it, hit the little X right there in the click or the little red dot if you have a Mac. Just click it off. Just shut it. Don't like it. Heather, we have showcased both sides so much to where you have the one sphere. You have that one guiding. You have those individuals that like to beat their fucking drum and be the ralliers, the ones that like to gather the pitchforks and burn people at the stake, but cannot provide. I would like to have a shred of proof of what you're talking about when you said that we're misogynist. When I don't really recall. I mean, when we were having our female fans, our women fans, sending us dick pics of individuals that sent dick pics to them, and Minx, like, we put clothes on them, and that we're making fun of guys who send women unsolicited dick pics. That was freaking hilarious episode. We got zucked because the guys who got pissed off about it freaking said we were cyberbullying and say that was revenge porn. So there you go. What's a politician? Her response when someone says paid more than what the job pays. And I'll be honest with you, Heather, if like we have, I think right now we have in the discussions, we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 politicians in discussion to come up. And these are very polarizing politicians to other individuals. So in other words, if you're a raging liberal, then one of our guests is going to piss you off. If you're a raging conservative, one of our guests is going to piss you off. It really is, who is the decision maker? Who is the one that decides who is somebody that is, that the new one is a seditionist, or the new one is a traitor, or the new one is this. So if anybody was ever supportive of Trump, whether you support him or not, all of a sudden now you're a racist, or you're a traitor, or you're this. Anybody who was supportive, voted for Bernie or voted for Hillary, then you're an extreme liberal or whatever. As long as we're not blinded by one side and remain unbiased, why not? Exactly. We got some pretty good ones coming up too. I can't wait. People are going to freak out. People are going to get so mad on both sides. Oh, WTF Nation's now going vet bro. A post receipts, son. Post receipts of us being vet bro-ish. I think we rally a lot against the vet bros. We shit talk vet bros a lot. What is a vet bro? Then on the other side, I crack on Tucker Carlson. On the other side, when he talks shit about us being woke. What's woke? What is woke? I really want to know what woke is. As a matter, these policies have been in the Army for quite a long time. They're not woke. Equal opportunity, prevention of sexual harassment and sexual assault, that's not woke. The UCMJ, that's not woke. It's not revenge porn when you send something unsolicited. That's right. It's not. It's like you're throwing it out there. It's like you're tweeting to the world, hey, look at these, or look at that. What's woke? Nobody can ever. Give me a call, as a matter of fact. Tell me what woke is. What do you think woke is? And I guarantee it, you won't be able to identify it. Got a lot of people on the TL, on the timeline. I say TL, like that's what the kids are saying. Got little individuals in the timeline just talking shit, saying that we're woke and simping for Ivan, since we're going to talk about Ukraine later. Hey, look, if you're cheerleading Ivan because you don't like the fact that a woman is flying a helicopter, or an artillerist sending rounds downrange, or a tank commander, or a graduated ranger school, you got a fucking problem. Yeah, we could talk about this up in between that, but you cannot, you can't sit there and show your ass on RT or Sputnik and then say, yeah, see, this was going to happen because women are, I hate to break it to you, there's been a lot of women involved in military shit quite a long time before you probably were aware or probably had access to the internet before you saw a woman on the web. I cannot stand seeing individuals that are simping for Russia. Damn it, Wolverine, son. Man, I joined the army. I was telling that to some friends before. I joined the army to fight the Red Horde, and I retired before that happened. Now we're poising against Ivan, and as he's surrounding Ukraine. And our friends in Ukraine are saying, hey, chill, let's have a diplomatic solution. And I'm not rooting for fucking Russia. I'm not saying I hope we have a lot of fucking tanks get killed by Russia. I don't know. Fuck. There are people out there that are really saying that. There are people out there that are saying, because of this, because of that, I'm going to. You know how many women fighter pilots we have? How many, Can we discuss a little what we see on the mainstream media? No, actually, if you go to some of these Russian websites, you will see them talking about our media. They're the ones that are really doing it a lot. We're also seeing our media, our mainstream media they don't like to get in the talk of it. And again, of course, there's some individuals that are not experienced in the military enough to even to talk about it. But I will say this right now: if I catch you simping for Ivan, saying that I hope we lose a bunch of units because there's women in it, dude, I'm gonna call your ass out. That's wrong as shit. I don't get how you think that's cool. I'm not saying that there's guys out there that are throwing some mad vitriol. We're so fucked. We're screwed because we have. Oh no, we have women graduating Ranger School. Clutched in pearls. Irish don't play with the Russians. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Real quick story before we take it. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Pook, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm gonna throw. As a matter of fact, let me see. I'm gonna have to. I didn't know we were gonna go on this crit. I'm shooting from the hip tonight because I'm taking callers and shit like that. We don't have any guests, so I'm just shooting shit. And obviously, Mom's, she's got things going on, and I'm solo tonight. But I would like to see what you think woke is. I want to know what woke is. I want to know the people who shit talk the military saying that it's woke. I want to know what it is. I want to know what you think woke means to somebody, to what it means. It's because of all these freaking rules and all. I want to know what it is. Is it because you don't like fucking, some of these guys, man, is it because you don't like women? Is it really what it is? Let's be honest. Is it really, is that what it is? You don't like girls? Is that what it is? You don't like women? I hate it. I hate it. This is woke. It's bullshit. We're gonna die because blah 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 blah. Hey man, have you been out to a range and seen some of these women getting it, busting caps on the range and shit? I think we try to reach out to one of the women rangers who led freaking combat patrols and shit. Rangers don't fuck around. So I hate the fucking topic of this shit because I get pissed off that you would actually want to wish us losing to Ivan. What happened to that yellow ribbon shit that we had from Desert Storm? Where after 9/11 happened and everyone's unified and like, yeah, go get them, raw. Let's go get the bad guys. So Leslie's got, in my opinion, is something so centered and focused and set in your ways you cannot see others' point of views. Yeah, that's a good definition. That's the definition of woke, but I don't know too many. I don't know. I could bet you right now, if you were to walk over to a military fighter jet, if you go to a fighter jet or helicopter, you see them flying around and stuff like that, and all of a sudden doors open up and you see ponytails coming out. Is that gonna make you freak out? How many times? I don't know. I've had when I've jumped out of airplanes. I don't want to say it. Back up, brag. Had a woman air crew. They got me to the DZ just fine. Whether it be C-17, of course, or C-130. So I hate that conversation. It's like, why would you, especially, like I said, I got daughters too. We got sisters, right? Some of you younger ones, some of you youngins got moms, right, that are in the military or something like that. Imagine somebody just shit-talking your mom like that. Or your sister or your daughters. Man, if my daughter was in the military and somebody was shit-talking my daughter, I would be like freaking, there's Josiah. Oh, man. Well, anyways, we'll see. Take a break. And then, of course, we'll take more phone calls. And, there you go. Yeah, exactly that, Les. Exactly. Ponytails would be coming out of an A-10. Would scare the fuck out of me, too. There are women A-10 pilots. Fuck, man. But, anywho, we'll take a break. What song did I play? We played Kandahar right when we're about to start. So we're going to in my side of my head and contact left while we take our break. So back at Bragg. We'll be right back.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Our functional battery center of excellence deep within the mountain compound, somewhere along the Rocky Mountains, or maybe in the bunker in the middle of Kansas. Who knows? Ah, man. Whoa, whoa. What am I seeing here? Whoa, whoa. Hey, whoa. Let me direct your attention to. Oh, it's almost like Jump Master School. Let me direct your attention to. You know how Jump Masters. If you ever go to Jump Master School, and let me direct your attention to, and they always have to like slap. Same thing with Airborne School. If you decide to, not be a leg. Sean says, I won't feel bad about it. In fact, I'm going to laugh at the amount of SJWs, I guess social justice warrior females that scream for equality looking to backtrack their words so they don't have to deploy. What are you fucking talking about? These are the ones that want to fucking deploy. Les says, so on Facebook, I said congrats to a woman who graduated 11 Bravo, and also said before any of you pogues respond and knock her, she's completed something that you haven't. Now, I'm sure I have mixed feelings about ladies being grunts, and now it doesn't matter, but I don't think that can't do the job. But because I don't think that as a team leader or a squad leader, I could send them knowingly and willingly to harm's way. Men do, in fact, act differently when a woman's hurt than when it's their brother. But honestly, after reviewing it, women have been doing a vital part of our military, so why not let them decide how the best to fit? And Eden Emery, exactly. There you go, Eden Emery. Man. Are we still on this old freaking SJW shit? Backtracking? But tell you what, I know some tankers and some artillerists that would love to bust a cap into Ivan's T-80 and pop its turd off. I know some artillerists who are really fucking good at their craft, and I know they would lay some rounds down range. I don't know what. See, I don't know, what is it? Is this some sort of boomer shit you're fucking doing? All I know is a single. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I know helicopter pilots, Apache pilots. Women, pew 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 pew, shooting rockets, shoom shoom shoom. They want equality? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Get out of here with that shit. Oh, he was popping off you, Pooks? Yeah, well, I still have a right to respond to that comment anyways, because I think that's fucked up. Knowing individuals who are in these positions, and they're just... I don't see it. No, really, I don't. I'll be honest with you, man. I really don't fucking see... I don't know. I've not seen any... there's some bitching, complaining about some other shit, but... soldiers whine about other shit too anyways. Who doesn't whine about being cold? I hate the cold. Even though I, live in the cold or been around the cold or deployed in the cold or did stuff in the cold. Or the heat. But, I don't know, man. I just throw in the single... I keep saying single. Social justice warrior shit. That's like old. What rhetoric are you using, man? You freeze dried or doing hard time? Heather says, wasn't smart enough to use the bribe button. Now, let's not insult anybody's intelligence on the Facebooks. Because I know we do have some boomers that hit the inbox saying that I'm weakening the military by not talking about whatever. Again, like Pip said, I hate vets. Because I'm not sitting there, jumping up and down and going that women shouldn't be in. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I just think it's funny. That's a social justice warrior shit. Man, women driving tanks, man. Fuck. Flying helicopters and, fucking sending fire down range. Raining steel. Commanding troops. Dudes. Again, tell me what woke is. Tell me what woke is. What you consider as woke. If any weekend. I don't know, really. AC-130, yeah, exactly that. So disappointing. So disappointing. All I'm going to say is that if you're simping for Ivan to wax our units just because there's a couple of women inside those units, you're fucked. You're fucked up. If you jump that banner, hundreds of other women on that plane, let that sink in. Airborne missions jump in behind, in front of the enemy lines, and being surrounded. That's right. We're paratroopers. We're supposed to be surrounded. I mean, what soldier hates on a fellow soldier based on their gender if they can't carry the weight as a dude next to them? What's the issue? And exactly that, Pookie. Fuck, dude. I didn't graduate Ranger School. There's women that did. It's Ranger School. Good points. Good points in the chats. I like this. Just not gonna poop that shit, man. That's messed up. I just think it's funny again. Everyone's like, "Ooh, this is getting all mad. We're so screwed. I can never do it." Hats off to women who do a whole good order discipline, and chain of command would get me. All right, everybody, you know, people who serve in the military or don't serve in the military, that's them. That's. So it isn't for them. Some of it is for them, and you know, everyone has their specific. I mean, God, dude, I can't drop in some shit like that, man. God, trying to set the mood and stuff. What are we talking about? How many races that I made in the military? Ooh, oh man. To me specifically, or have made racist comments because they didn't know what my nationality or my Latino-ness was. Is that what you're saying? Is that the question? Just one of them just one of them MAGA hats just lurking in the chat. just like Jaws. Oh man. So just picture a bunch of MAGA hats swimming around the freaking swimming in the chats, everyone getting all mad. Because you think you come in here and just shit talk the army. Or you're trying to simp for Ivan. Is that what it is? Are you an Ivan account? Do you like Ivan? Man, what were we just talking about the freaking Super Bowl and all this awesome, exactly, Pookie. Dun. Every time I get to watch this, I swear to God, the PL gets locked himself in a porta shitter or something else. Be right back. All right, man. Well, thanks for listening, I guess. Oh man, what were we talking about? We're talking about Ivan. Let me see some of the news here about the Ukraine. As Russia sends mixed signals, Ukrainian civilians are training for war. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there are some civilians out there that were What's up, Sean? Waiting for that phone call. Yeah, no, honestly, for real. No, I'll be honest. There has been some comments that have been made by individuals that are either were they considered to be racist or maybe not racist. Fuck, I don't know. But I will say, dude, that's fucked up, man. Or I'll hear because again, I don't look Hispanic. I don't look anything. Like I said, it's me and my mom in a family photo. It's just me and my mom. The two white people, and the rest of them look like Danny Trejo. That's literally, they look more Mexican than me. If I was darker, maybe I'd probably, grow a goatee or something like that, or probably pass as Latino if I was a little bit darker. But I don't got that. But anyways, yeah, it's I've experienced it. Yes, I've experienced directed to me. No, but if I've seen it around, and I will call it out and say, hey, that's fucked up or whatever, or that's bullshit, or I'll say, hey, that's fucking, dude, that's not fucking racist, man, or something like that. So, but that's just it. Anyways, so the UN Security Council held a meeting today, called the U.S. over Russia's objection to discuss a standoff on the borders of Ukraine, which Russia has amassed more than 100,000 troops. U.S. and NATO allies have warned for weeks that Vladimir Putin is going to use forces to launch a new invasion of Ukraine as soon as February. Well, yeah. Even though Putin denies it, says it's not going to happen. The U.S. has responded by pouring military hardware to bolster Ukrainian forces, like javelins and anti-tank rockets. And NATO has deployed troops, aircraft, and warships to reinforce the bloc's defenses in the region. And the U.S. and European allies won't send troops into Ukraine as it's not a NATO member. However, they've warned repeatedly that Russian forces crossing the Ukrainian border will be considered an invasion and will draw prompt and severe sanctions against Russia. Severe sanctions. Pip. That's why I'm known as the tallest Mexican and the shortest German. Ukrainian envoy says we cannot afford to panic. CBS News. I can't talk right now. A CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams reports that Ukrainians are determined to defend their homeland, but even with an influx of American weaponry, they're massively outgunned and outnumbered to their colossal neighbor. Despite the odds, thousands of Ukrainian civilians have joined local defense units, and Williams met with some of the citizen soldiers on the outskirts of Ukraine's capital, where every Saturday they gather and do a quick warm-up and put them through drills, training to fight off a hypothetical, of course, Russian attack. I know Russians very well, says a civilian. And the defense minister who works in marketing told the CBS News that he served in the Soviet army before Ukraine gained its independence from Moscow just over 30 years ago. If you want peace, you should be prepared for war. There you go. So the defensive unit volunteers include everyone from urban professionals to military veterans to new recruits, and thus are only armed with plywood rifles because they're just doing drills. They're just, whatever. Putin, of course, Russia's hardware, on the other hand, is impressive. Moscow has been showing it off. Putin's forces have been moving fighter jets, missile systems, and about 5,000 troops into Belarus, an ally and a neighbor that sits on Ukraine's northern border. Russia insists that it's only carrying out joint military exercises. There's no plan in invading Ukraine, but on Monday, the Russian military noted that the exercises were expanding to the establishment of mobile field command posts. The lack of Russian command and control centers set up in the border region has been one factor noted that military analysts to suggest that Moscow is not in fact planning an imminent invasion. You trust Ivan on this? I don't trust Ivan. I don't trust him at all. U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield, told Security Council members on Monday that the U.S. has seen evidence, quote unquote, evidence of that Russia intends to expand that presence in Belarus to more than 30,000 troops near the Belarus-Ukraine border in less than 2 hours north of Kyiv by early February. There you go. So don't get me started on what's that? Better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. That's true. Les says that I've done some research on Ukraine. Russians seem to want Ukraine for two key things: the wheat and the port. Yeah, that's curious to find out what they're going to do next. I don't trust Ivan. Not individuals like thinking Russia. I grew up growing up, like I said, Red Dawn, Wolverines, right? And so that's what I think of. That's what I duck and cover because we might get nuked. The communist scare. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. You know what I mean? That shit. That's the stuff that I remember Ivan doing. I don't trust Ivan at all. Exactly that, Baconator. Wolverines. Exactly, Sean. If you trust Ivan, then there is a juicy girl in Korea that loves you. Exactly that. Love. Love can be so... just love. Exactly that, Les. Now, we just had the anniversary of the Challenger exploding. And when I was a kid, I saw that happen real time. Holy crap. About the same time, a movie The Day After had come out. Oh, man. Watch that movie The Day After. It's got John Lithgow in it and a couple other notable actors, and it talks about Kansas City getting nuked. And throughout the whole thing, throughout the whole movie, you're hearing background noise and background TV. So you're basically watching, I don't know, people going through their normal lives, and then you're hearing it on the news in the background. You know how some people, you watch TV and there's always the hint in the background where you're at a bar and these guys are talking at a bar, but you see like Russian forces and all that. And throughout the whole movie, I saw the movie a couple of times only because I saw that movie when I was young, and then somebody else brought it up. I think it was talking with 18th Airborne Corps. We were talking about nukes and stuff like that. And then I saw it again, and someone had told me, hey, when you watch the day after, don't watch the dialogue. Anytime you hear background stuff about what's going on in Europe, watch that. And holy crap, dude. You're just like, oh, shit. It's freaking eerie, man. Why does KC always got to get nuked? Are we talking football or are we talking war? Sorry, I just, thought I'd rub that in there. A little NFL jab. I'm all about jabs today. Get that jab in, right? But you watch the movie, I mean, obviously after the nukes set off, then that's when, there was no, you see it from different points of view, from the military side of the house, from just, family people, and just different walks of life and all that. It's pretty freaking scary, right? So anytime I think about that, or anytime you talk about, Ivan, if you watch the movie, I mean, no shit, if you watch the original movie Red Dawn, with Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, Linda Gray, C. Thomas Howell, all the older Brat Pack, I guess you'd say. And you listen, don't worry about the action sequence, but listen to when that pilot gets shot down, and he gives us the spiel of what happened and how the Russians invaded and nukes were used. So it's like, damn, dude, nukes are freaking scary. So there was individuals talking about during this meeting that if Russia even said that, accused the U.S. and its allies of interference, and we're just doing exercises. Stop interfering. Dismissing the suggestions of a possible invasion. Come on, that's just conjecture and unfounded accusations. That's what Russia says. So on Western colleagues, you talk about the need for de-escalation, but first they all themselves escalate tension and with rhetoric to provoke an escalation. Ambassador Vasily Nebenzia said, talking about an impending war is provocative in itself. That's what I'm telling you right now, man. I don't want to bring everybody Debbie Downer and shit, but research some of this stuff. I don't trust Ivan. That's just me. I don't trust him at all. I'm not concerned about Russia. What does scare me is China heats up Taiwan, right? Russia does Ukraine, because you have a table set like World War II. Yeah, exactly that, dude. Exactly that, Les. Right on the point, man. Right on the point. Because then what's China doing? Have you heard any news about China lately? You see what's going on in Canada with the truckers? Exactly. With the truck drivers? Those truckers are pissed. Exactly, man. I see that. Yeah, I saw it. I guess currently right now the Prime Minister of Canada is in hiding. It says he's not going to talk to anybody. Or North Korea, exactly. North Korea launching some freaking projectiles. Yeah, so I'm telling you, man, it's just it's a lot of the news. This news right now, the world setting, the global stage. It's pretty sensitive right now. Everyone's talking shit, whatever, and but yeah, hang on for a sec. Someone just sent me a message. Hang on, let me double check some mail. Ever played Civilizations? Russia's is doing exactly what you do before you invaded Russia. Yeah, exactly that, dude. You're going in there and freaking invading a country. You're setting all that stuff. Anybody who's played those role-playing games, yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna see what's in the mail. Let me see what I got in the mail. All right. So tomorrow. So what do we got going on tomorrow? Tomorrow is CQ. And tomorrow's show is going to be like a roasting, I guess. We're going to roast CQ. So if you want to contribute to tomorrow's show, CQ's asking for recordings, video and audio, or just even comments you want to share on air. For it can be anything from roasting, congratulating, well-wishing, heckling, or just shooting over to CQ, or hit contact at WTFNationRadio.com, or send it to the WTF Nation Radio Facebook page. And he'll use some of the content for tomorrow night. And he would love to have the fans throw some. I guess we're gonna roast them. I guess we're gonna roast CQ. There we go. Exactly that, Pookie. D. Treasy, starting World War III. And although it's solved, it's an interesting topic. Yeah, everyone said. Let's talk about the SAR First Class, the 82nd tried out of the Army this weekend. Although it's solved, it's an interesting. What are you talking? What? The SAR First Class. Whoa, hang on. Whoa, let's rewind that. What was that? Let's talk about that Sergeant First Class who tried to get 86 out of the Army this weekend. Although it's solved, it's an interesting topic. It's solved. There we go. It's solved. If it wasn't being resolved, then we would have talked about it. Jason says that except Ukrainian intelligence is saying it's unclear, considering that they're probably better than American and British intelligence agencies out there that got us into Iraq. Just a bunch of saber rattling. Exactly that. Just wait and see. That's what we've got to do. Just wait and see. Hey, Mike Gallant. Bonjour. I'm cool from Canada. Thank you for joining us. What's going on over in the north, man? You snow Mexicans are acting up. What y'all doing? The story has been solved there, Heather. Then why did the unit do that? Yeah, it's all been fixed. What are we going back and forth for? That's it. So Mike Gallant, what are you what's going on up there? Are you seeing what's going? What's the pulse up there with all them truckers? Did they ever make it to the Capitol? And they are the Capitol, or is the Prime Minister going to talk to them? Hang on, I gotta wait for the delay. America is not good at de-escalation, and I want to that us, cops, civilians, soldiers probably won't too bad at this. I just hope China. Baconator says that I just hope China, Russia, and India, and North Korea don't lose their cookies altogether. Yeah, exactly. Mike Gallant, man. Hey, what's going on in Canada? As a matter of fact, I can talk about what's going on in camera. On camera, I am on camera. In Canada, and we can we could talk about that if you got any news about what's going on. Pookie says those truckers are just a few people. Yeah, just a few, right? They're just exactly that, Pookie. They're just a few people. Hang on, as a matter of fact, let me Googleize this right quick and see what we have for the Canadian truck drivers. Canada truck drivers, see what's been going on, what's been happening with them. Everyone really doesn't know why everyone's talking about this. Oh man, thanks for the link, appreciate it. These are protesters that are Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said today that Canadians are disgusted by the behavior of people protesting against COVID mandates. And unfortunately, a racist left wing in the group is making it trouble and disrespectful for more memorial. Yeah, I've been seeing that. Dozens of trucks and other vehicles jammed up the city center on Friday, and thousands have descended on the Parliament Hill to complain about Trudeau and the COVID-19 mandates and masking requirements, but by midday afternoon, many had left. And so police said that demonstrators have been peaceful, but local residents have complained about the blaring truck horns and some demonstrators using the streets as toilets. Is it that bad? We're not intimidated by those who hurl abuse in small business workers and steal food from the homeless. Yeah, I guess they disrespected a war memorial too. Yeah, exactly. That's fucking nuts, dude. The Conservatives say Trudeau is ignoring the pain of thousands fighting for their livelihoods. In Canada, quote, is a raw nerve, and the Prime Minister has jumped up and down at it again and again with his inflammatory rhetoric. Finance spokesman Pierre Poilievre told the House of Commons. Trudeau announced that he contracted COVID-19 but felt fine and would work remotely. So there you go. Anyhow, success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. All progress takes place outside the comfort zone. I'm happy I made an investment, and I'm just grateful. Okay. There you go. U.S. veterans are not happy. Us veterans. I'm sorry. I thought you said U.S. veterans. The way I read that. Yep. Baconator. Oh man, cats and dogs living together. See, everyone's throwing it. Big tech has been silencing. It's been silencing it pretty good. And why the F is Puerto Rico not a state yet? Yeah, exactly. Total and complete mayhem. Anyways, so check it out. So tomorrow is going to be CQ's roasting. So make sure you send some stuff like that or pop a video in there. Also, obviously Wednesday's the day off. Thursday, Sergeant's time. Got a lot of military guests coming up. We even have some military advocates coming up too. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Friday Night Freedom. Now, okay, Friday Night Freedom is going to happen. My apologies for the miscommunication. Saturday, Sunday, obviously your days off. And then, of course, Mondays, the Monday edition. Hey, thank you, everybody, for contributing and shooting the breeze and all that. And, if you guys got anything you want to talk about or you guys want to submit any music, that's another thing too. We need some music. Submit music. No days off. No days off? What are you talking about? Well, don't worry about it, man. Les, we're going to have some more shows coming up. We also are almost finished in coordinating and solidifying our Stolen Valor segment that we're going to be doing. Stolen Valor segment's going to be not recorded. It's not going to be like a regular event. It's going to be like a series, and it's going to be on a specific day, and it's going to be discussed with individuals who have stolen valor, committed VA fraud, or / said that they did something that they didn't do and have gotten busted for it. We've posted some stories about that too. We're just tightening up some loose ends on that one, and the first episode will be getting up. It'll probably be on a Monday or a Thursday, so tune in. Once it happens, it's going to go up, and it's going to be from the beginning to the end. It's not going to be a guest. It's going to be like right from get. So it's going to be a pretty good. It's going to be a pretty good show. Also going to be discussing after the first segment's going to go. The second segment's going to be some individuals that work for. Just you'll see. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be a good event. First event's going to be pretty good. I think it is. So, but anyways, all right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget we are on 14 different platforms right now. You're currently listening to us to 2 Facebook pages, on a YouTube page, on Twitch, on the Twitters, and of course you could download us on Google Play or Apple Podcasts. I'm surprised all the butthurt people that don't like the WTF Nation haven't complained about us being on those things. You need to deplatform them. Yeah, there are people out there trying, but we'll see. Jim Henson is a great metal drummer. I met a retired sergeant major with a CIB and a star, and he was like 27. Yeah, I call bullshit on that too. I would, but anywho, thank you all for hanging out, and shots. So y'all have a good night, and make sure you tune in to Pop Culture Warrior. Night.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Surveyed the universe and said, let's make all of this our own. Decommission of group of soldiers take upon their shoulders a daunting task of relentless fear to make conquest of the last frontier. Now here we are enlisted for the glory of our nation. To say that we're the best would be an under-exaggeration. Prepared for combat with an alien race to kick their asses right in the face. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. They say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the bubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planet of America. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. Though critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Space Force.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
There are many simple things in the world. Shovels. They are all different. Gardening shovel. Unloading shovel. Children's shovel. But there is also a different shovel. We use it when we come to the position. In short time, it helps us dig a trench which saves us from bullets. If a tank will pass over the trench, there is a high probability that it will not cause any harm to the soldier. We dig in the ground, deeper, and then connect the trenches with our friends to the left. In just a few hours, trenches are all connected. When we do not have an axe, we can use a shovel to cut a loaf of bread. A soldier uses a shovel as a paddle, crossing the wide river under enemy fire. If we run out of ammunition, we will use a shovel again. And then we'll move on. And when we get the order to stop, we'll take a shovel again and build around us an impregnable fortress. This fortress is defended by the army of Ukraine, our army.